this week it's a hot topic, I guess, to us because we're bloggers and we have a blog that has been accessed and been given credentials by the league and therefore by the Grizzlies PR staff. Over at Portland, the Blazers Edge, which is a SBN Nation blog site, fan site, they have been doing work for a long time. They put in a lot of hours. They put in a lot of work, and they've been a reputable, fair, and balanced blog site on Portland. What's happened in Portland, not only the team, but the front office. I mean, most people, and I honestly don't follow them real closely, but most people who do have said that they've knocked a lot of the other blogs out of the park, right? So they are the premier source for a lot of that information about Portland. But this week, Portland decided to tier their credentialing process. So the first tier, you got all access, locker room, practice, access to the players, coaches, everything else. But the second tier, you don't get that. All you get is a free seat at the game and the terrace level, at a terrace level, and then that's it. The only time you can access the players or staff is through interviews, not at practice and not at games. So you can't even get in there to see all of the other, stuff. So what they did was they actually declined their credential because they didn't think it was fair. My question to you is, and I have some thoughts on this too, but I'll get your thoughts first. Do you think that is something that other teams across the league will try to implement, or do you think it's just a one-off and they got so much pushback that it's never going to happen again?
Oh wow, that's yeah. I mean, I checked out the article earlier in the week, and it was a very interesting thing to think of. I actually, to be honest, I think you might have a better perspective on this as somebody who's done credentialed Grizzlies games. I mean, I've done the All-Star game and draft and things of that sort. But I mean, it's interesting, and I could totally see things going that way because, to be honest, I mean, the first time I got credentialed, I was shocked that they let me in. That oh man, I don't know what I'm doing compared to all these other, big names out there. But it's really interesting, and there are more and more people. I went to the All-Star game the first time, and I walked up to somebody and said, "Oh, I'm with," we were with True Hoop at the time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm with ESPN.com." They're like, "Oh yeah, get in line." Everyone here is with ESPN.com. So it's like there's so many people that I think they honestly do kind of have to tier it in a way, or be a little bit more selective about the people that they let in, because there's just so many people doing this type of thing these days. I mean, I hope that's not the way it goes, but it seems almost reasonable that they would choose to do such a thing.
Yeah, I guess I have no problem with the tiered access. I really don't. My problem and my issue is that you have somebody like Blazers Edge, or in the Grizzlies' case, Three Shades of Blue, right, that have been there for a while, have been doing the work, have been covering the games. I mean, providing media coverage for the team, and honestly, has probably been going more in-depth than traditional forms of media. There are some radio guys out there that cover just the Grizzlies. They do a phenomenal job of that. And even the TV guys that cover Grizzlies do a pretty good job, but they can't get the level of access, they can't get the level of coverage that a blogger, that a website could, because you're able to do so many more things. I mean, just for us, for instance, right? I mean, we've got this TV blog, we've got our website, we've got multiple writers, we've got a lot of different angles, we've got things that we're able to put up on 25, 30,000 web hits in a week sometimes that people are coming for information. They're getting it from us, and we've become a source. So for you to shut people like that down, I think that's where most people and Blazers Edge had the issue. And I think that's where they were wrong. How in the world are you able to prove yourself as a blogger? How are you able to prove yourself as a media member if you can't gain access in the first place? I mean, I think that's really where the issue is. It's like, well, prove that you're worthy. How am I going to prove I'm worthy? I mean, I can write opinion articles. I can write articles about watching TV, but I'm never going to have access to the players. I'm never going to be able to prove that I'm able to stand in the locker room with them. And, the Blazers said, well, the locker room's too crowded. Okay, bring the guys out to the locker room. I mean, there are ways to handle this that I think would be worth looking into. That I feel like it was just kind of a lazy thing that took place. But I'm grateful for the Grizzlies PR staff, and not just the Grizzlies PR, but the Grizzlies organization, because I think they've been very accommodating and very open, and we have a great relationship with them here at Three Shades of Blue, and I really think most media outlets have that. I was the same way, Steve. I walked in my very first time into the locker room, into the post-game press conference and the media area, and I'm sitting here looking at guys that I've listened to on the radio and I've seen on TV for years growing up here in Memphis, and I've read their stuff on websites, and I thought, how in the world am I in here right now? I mean, like, this is crazy. I mean, I can't believe I'm doing this. But then after a while, then you realize, well, these guys are just like, they're just like us. They're just people who use their craft and their abilities, to earn a living, or some of them, like us, we don't earn a living doing it, but it's something that we take seriously, we do take professionally, and I think that unless you're able to get that access and prove yourself worthy, there's really no way to make that happen. But anyway, man, I know we could, like I said, there's so much we can talk about and go on, but this is a video blog show, so I don't want to take it too long. But any other thoughts you got on that, Steve?
That's basically all I've got. I mean, I agree with you. I think that there does need to be an avenue for blogs to get out there and prove themselves, and people like us. I wonder. I mean, I don't know that much about the situation, but I wonder if there's a bit of like a sense of competition almost, in that the outlets that the Blazers have gone through officially through the years, if there's some form of competition between those and then us bloggers that do it for free basically. But like I said, I know very little about the situation, so I can't speak to it too much.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I do think there's probably a little bit of that competition. I know with us as media, we're very congenial to one another when we're around one another. But I do know that there's a healthy respect also, and when we know, I mean, there have been times when I've been in the locker room, and obviously the TV stations compete for viewers and for ratings, but one guy for Channel 3 will be holding Channel 13's microphone up there because Channel 13's guy can't get close enough. I mean, those type things that happen. We share information, we talk about things, and we try not to write the same stuff and take the same angles. So I think that's also good. But I mean, just like us, I mean, there's other people, like there's Grizzly Blue Bears, right, or Grizzly Bear Blues. I probably just screwed up their name, and they'll be pissed off at me. But no, I mean, there's guys that do the similar thing, but I think we have our own voice. They have their own voice. They approach things differently than we do, and I think there's space in the internet and the interwebs for all of us. I think that even though there are times when maybe we can be like Grizzly overkill, right? I mean, you can just get kind of all this information that's coming at you so fast, and it's overwhelming for people. I still think that there's a niche market that's out there that you can create a voice, create an identity, and people are going to respond to that.